Okay, so they come again to Ziviera against LongD in the grand final of the 2-2 Deathmatch tournament. So we have Ziviera as the Germans and LongD as Spanish against AJIV as the Russians and Book as the Germans. We are playing Great Plains. Great Plains is the first map for this tournament for all sets. Ziviera is going forward with her villagers, so he's getting a stable here. LongD is also going forward with all his stuff. Someone just told me. So yeah, so they will go forward, and they are going to attack Book pretty soon, I think. Or I know, because I saw this game already. Yeah, they haven't. So for those of you who watched the recording, there was some technical issues, I would say. So that happened. But shit happened. So yeah. So we have the AJIV push, so a lot of pikemen, a lot of crossbowmen going forward. Combined with war wagons, makes up for a pretty decent push. Yeah, I'm not sure about this build order by Ziviera, so sending Germantown farmers is decent, I guess. But the artisans, oh, I mean, he has 9 war wings or settler wings, so maybe that's worth it. But let's not focus on that. So we have aggression here already. Luckily, LongD sent only 1 factory and it got away, so that's good. Other than that, the fight starts at Book. Book's population doesn't seem too good at the moment. I'm not sure about the Dobbs though. Okay, that's interesting. He already sent a card, so maybe he knows something with the Dobbs. I'm not the biggest of fans of Dobbs. And they seem like they die pretty fast and they do very little. I would probably prefer to just spam a lot of war wagons and cannons, especially against this push. Yeah, but they are attacking here. So, and it's going pretty well for Ziviera and LongD. So, I think now Book and AJIV can start to push back. I think they really want to get out of this choke point here because it's really hard to micro cannons. So they really want to get here. I mean, those racks are dead anyway. And they really want to fight here, so they have some space to maneuver and stuff. So that's what I would want to do. And Book, I mean, his population is actually decent. He just has a lot of cannons, so that's why his army seems to be so small. And I think that really hurts him. So if he has if he would have more war wagons, they would do more than 3 heavy cannons and 6 horse artillery is just overkill. I think let's just look at how the attack is going here. So Ziviera got out 2 barracks and some skirmishers, and they deal with the sneak attack of AJIV, so that's very well played by him. And now all the covenants come in, so they do have a lot of covenants. So they have more covenants, so that's likely that they win the covenant fight just because they have more. But another thing is also that they don't have space to maneuver anyway. So yeah, it's just hard to cover a micro if you don't have space to maneuver. Let me see. Is he getting? Yeah, he's getting some coverage, but they will be out very late. Also, these lancers, they just go to town on the Russian stuff. I think some CA would actually be decent. I think CA in this scenario would be better than the Halberdiers. Keep in mind that Russia does have decent Cav archers, and although they are not the best unit, because they are not really population efficient, they are decent because they are cost efficient. And yeah, but at the moment it seems like they are cleaning up. There's still some stuff going on here. Was this a factory or not? I think they killed a factory here, right? Let me just check. I think he killed a factory here. Yeah, I think that was a factory. So he got a sneak attack, but he spent a lot of units doing it. It's Naheulbook, Zivieras. Zivieras is sending now his factories. He's also building a market now, so he can sell some wood. Yep. Yeah, but they cleaned up, or they started to clean up here pretty well, but they ran out of resources. So this raid here actually cost AJIV quite a lot. And this economy is, I think, a bit further behind than it usually is. We also couldn't get out medicine earlier. Second factory also is not really there. Oh, there's a construction timer now. That's great. And also, he just didn't have any anti-cav, and lancers just eat skirmisher type units, as you would expect, as they are designed to do. So that's very bad. And yeah. So yeah, that happened. And for the next, sorry. So I think sorry, I was thinking about something. So yeah, AJIV economy really is bad. I think Book's economy also is not really good. CV, like all economies are not really good. But Ziviera and Longest have an army still. So just some units at least, and they're also grouped up better together. So this is not a fight you ever want to take. So yeah, so if you're in a low eco situation, you want to avoid fights which you are not. So you only want to also, or generally, you only want to take fights where you get ahead, or where you trade well, or where you're expected to trade well. And if you are fighting against double the amount of units, you're just not trading well, ever. So you should avoid to do that, because you will just get behind even further. And the better thing to do would be to try to group up your army, or to get a defeat in detail. So you want to get a numerical advantage at some point on the map. But then again, they have so many units. I'm just running around on the map by so those units which were defending raids, that once they group up, it's probably over anyway. So yeah, so I think they just had, so Ziviera and Longest just had a better army composition for the most part, and better team play. And so yeah, so I think that was the main problem for AJIV and Naheulbook. That, I mean, that the team play was decent, they grouped up here, but AJIV lost a lot of units because he didn't make any goons, and I think also that Naheulbook just made too many cannons and not enough war wagons to deal with the cav which they were making. So I hope I have game 2. This should be a long one, at least what they told me. So I think I'm just going to cast game 2 and then I'm going for lunch. And I will probably come back in the afternoon or after lunch. Oh, let's just see how it goes. Maybe I will also do just all. Okay. Okay, so the last game has Frosty, so he would have to send it to me. So I can only do 4 games today. Okay, load. Recorded games. So this has to be the first one. Then this should be the second one. There apparently was some delay in between. Okay, so we have Texas on the second map. We have Zivieras on Russia and Longest on Dutch. Interesting combination. I cannot recall that I've seen them play them this way. AJIV on Portuguese, as expected. Naheulbook on Spain. So just some comfortable civilizations for AJIV and Book. And are you sure? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought, because there was like an hour in between. So I think that's maybe the missing map which Zivieras was talking about. So probably the second map I will cast eventually. When I get the game. So we have Texas, and we have Dutch. Dutch and Russia basically, which I already said. So why is Dutch good? So Dutch, you have a great boom with the banks. You have a lot of population to fight throughout the game, and just a solid overall army. So I think it's always a great pick in Deathmatch. They're also, again, teaming up on one side. I think we've seen that pretty consistently. They try to team up on one side and then focus down one player. And that's pretty powerful to do. I think you can build shade posts without explorers now. Okay. Yeah, Book says I need to take a day off to cast game 2, because it apparently was a pretty long game, as I would expect. So yeah, I will do that once I get it. Yeah, so they group up on this side, which is good, so they have a lot of units here already. They also have bases set up, so AJIV and Naheul do have a bit more walk to do. And also again have less space to maneuver. So even if they would have coverings, it would still be hard to fight against this. I think personally it's pretty hard to push past this trading post. Because you just, your units just get stuck because of the pathing all the time. Let's see some raids going on here. Again, I don't know how they do it. They always end up in the back of the other base. This was a blockhouse, right? Not a factory. One factory goes down here. That's pretty good. So I think that's the second factory for AJIV and Book I've seen so far in this set. Yeah, so So yeah, and I think that's the issue. So these trading posts are kind of like if you have to fight under buildings. They tend to clump up and you cannot really move back and you get 2 for 1 here for one shots. Keep in mind those Cavalryans already paid for themselves. I think. Just because they... let me see. Let me see which card team is this. Oh yeah, so it seems like you forgot the fencing school. Yeah, that's a pretty good card to have, I guess. But it happens. I mean it's a good card to have. But if you have one fencing school, it still should be decent. But of course it's a good card, so that's that's annoying. Oh yeah, another factory. I think 2 factories just went down. Yeah, guys, you cannot tell me that they are missing cards and while raids are going on. So let me just check. Let me just confirm. Yeah, I think 2 factories for longest are down, and some fights in the back. They are going decently actually for Book. He has... Yeah, actually the fights in the back are going very well for Book, so that's a very good move actually. As long as they can stabilize on the front, that should be decent. At the moment I feel like they don't have enough coverance to deal with it, but maybe if they get a huge cuff swarm or some hussars just to overwhelm him, then that might be good. Maybe that could be something they could do. But also if they just get the covering advantage, then I should be able to clean up everything here too. Which they have now. So this should be decent. But at the same time, they're getting cleaned up in the back. They did a lot of damage though, so all the factories from Longest got killed. And also all the banks. Or a lot of them at least. And that's a pretty big blow. I think with Dutch you need the factories quite a lot. Because your economy seems to be... Or it's just... You just rely on them more than other civilizations, I think. Also those Lancers paid for themselves. And they will pay even more for them. So they killed a lot of mortars, and now they will kill all these skirmishes here. So I think that's a great push. I mean, that's ambitious here. But I guess not too much can happen here, so I think it's decent. Yeah, Zivieras also delaying his factories for a long time. Usually, so it can't get sniped at the start, but it also means you're not getting the production or the resources for them. And I think AJIV and Book are in a good spot now, economically speaking, and also army-wise, so they should be able to push this year if they are aggressive, and I think that's what they should try to do. Let me just check the villages. AJIV has 64 villages already, that's huge. Book is a bit behind with 23, but that's to be expected, I think. I think it could be a bit higher, but not much. Longest at 29, and Zivieras at 24. Did he have medicine? No, he doesn't have medicine. I think with Russia you could be a bit higher, but also not too much. So AJIV is has the best economy at the moment. Does he have the mortar card already? He doesn't. AJIV. Why don't you have the mortar card in your deck? That's interesting. So Portuguese have the mortar card, which increases the range of your mortars, which makes them obnoxious to deal with. So I would always put it in my deck just because I hate to play against it. So I figure it's pretty good. That's why I would always use it. If it's annoying to play against, it is usually a sign that it's a pretty good thing. Yeah, but they are regrouping here. And I mean, with the mortar card, they could snipe it down from here a lot. First cavern shot goes in the way of LongD. I don't see the point in splitting up one caverns, to be honest, but that's what's happening. Now the mortars are going up. Oh, and all the swords are also going up. AJIV is building a dock now. It's a smart thing to do, actually. So here's a very small water pond, and ships are pretty powerful. I mean, in this situation, you probably want to spend your resources until you get 200 population first, before you make ships. Just because ships are pretty expensive, and mortars and caverns deal with ships pretty well. So they won't achieve too much, probably. Also, one thing I forget about Portuguese. So they do have this artillery hit points card, and this means that their cannons will survive to cavern shots. So that's actually something which is very good for Portuguese. So yeah. So they do have the artillery advantage usually. It's like the only civilization. Sorry. I was reading chat. So so the only civilization which can actually snipe caverns from Portuguese, or which only need 2 cavern shots to kill Portuguese, is if you have an Ottoman ally, because they do have a team artillery attack card, and this means that they kind of cancel out each other. So yeah, that's what happens. I think I would use this angle to attack here, because, like I said, pushing past this trading post is just so annoying. And here they would have a lot. You could probably just delete all those walls here and attack from this angle. Then you could also use some support of, like, some naval support, like some frigate here, or some mortar. So yeah, so that would have been good. Or that could be good, I think. But I think they are finally moving past this trading post. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this movement here by all these units. I don't know, it just seems overkill to send so many units there. Maybe it's okay. So personally I would just focus on pushing through here. Send 20 skirmishers here. They will also just deal with the harps, I guess. Yeah, I think he sent too many to deal with that. But I think it's fine. Should be fine anyway. So they're starting to push through here. They're killing the banks again. This is also a questionable spot for banks. But I mean, I guess he's getting punished for it. And they're pushing through here. Keep in mind, this game is not over yet, but losing this position is huge. because they are basically in the economy of Dutch already, and he lost his banks again. I don't know. I don't even know if he has. He doesn't even have the food to replenish it. I don't think he has any banks. Can I see how many? No, he has 6 out of 9 banks. So he didn't rebuild them. I'm also not sure about all these halberdiers. 83 halberdiers. Okay, so yeah, I think they should get more docks here and just make more ships. I think they're decent. They have the resources for it. They also got all these trading posts, so that's also well paid by them. The economy for all the people is up. I think at 12 minutes you probably should have 99 villagers with Spanish, so maybe he forgot to produce, I guess. Okay, now the flank is going on. We have Cossacks and halberdiers. So now this is threatening. So if you have Cav with them, what happens with the skirmishers is usually that they will start focusing or attacking Cossacks. So those halberdiers will survive a lot longer with Cav support. But they leave, so that's good. He also has some guard musketeers here, which he should use, in my opinion. Maybe he forgot them. Yeah, but it's just so many halberdiers, and they're killing 2 walls, and I think we're over 80. I think. Let's see. And he lost 40, killing 2 walls. I mean, he killed all the missionaries. And a bit Cav. So I disagree. I think we do have no rules. So yeah. Yeah, they attack move with missionaries. So actually in StarCraft, you have a similar unit. So if you have played StarCraft, the High Templar, which can do a lot of IE damage, but he doesn't have an attack. So what always ends up happening is that he will also just run into the enemies and die. So what they end up doing is they would give the High Templar a very weak ranged attack, so it wouldn't do that anymore, and all those noobs like me wouldn't suicide their High Templars anymore. So maybe that would be something for the missionaries. If instead of hand attack, they would have like a 3 attack ranged attack. That would be great. Yeah. Same thing with Infestors and Vipers, really. Just happens. So, but I mean, they're starting to gain momentum again here. So that's what I'm saying. So Zivieras and LongD have a very good team play. So it often feels like they group up, or they group up very well at a specific position and get a numerical advantage at one position and get great trades there. So that's what they are very good at. Even though they might not have more resources or more units than the other team, they still get their what it's called, I think, strength in detail or something. Like the strategy or the definition or term for it. So yeah, basically the idea is you want to, even though if you have less units in total, if you manage to defeat in detail, it's called. Now I know it. So if you manage to get numerical advantage at one point, then you will trade well there, and you just try to delay on the other sides, or if someone forgets and some units which are just standing around. No, the musketeers move again. So what ends up happening? They were pushing here because they had more units, and now they group up here together to push this back. I mean, it kind of works. Not always, but they have a very good team play. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm impressed by that. So the Caverns finally are here to... Micro could have been better here. Yeah, also mortars in the front is usually not something you want to have. Finally I also start to push here again. Did he get something up here? No. Oh. AJIV. You naughty, naughty boy. I think this should be game 3. Probably game 2 was too big to upload because it was too long, so I just took the one with the next date. So I think this should be game 3. It's probably a map pick of Zivieras and Longest, right? So winning this for AJIV and Naheulbook is big. Because you're not expected to win the map pick of the opponents, usually. Some decent raids going on here. And again the banks. So he's just not a fan of building the banks here anymore after he lost them there in the first place. Does he have 9 banks now? No, he finally has 9 banks again. Some fights going on here again. Personally... So Portuguese against Russia usually means that Portuguese just wins because they have better units. I'm not so sure about Portuguese against Dutch. I think for the most part they still should be better Portuguese just because the economy should be better for Portuguese. Yeah, he just doesn't have enough food at the moment. Or he doesn't make enough cannons. Maybe that's also the thing. Does he actually have... So, yeah. So I think... Let's see... But yeah, in the long run, I mean, they killed 2 factories, so... Longest just should have the weaker economy and eventually it should collapse. If AJIV keeps the pressure up. But Longest is doing a great job of just spending all his resources and getting out as many units as he can, possibly. Economy or resources, no one really has resources stockpiled. Yeah, I also think that Spain is a decent matchup for Russia. Or I mean, Spain is pretty good against Russia. Lances are pretty hard to deal with for Russia. Oh, AJIV. I'm just keeping... I don't think he's on a mission, but I don't think he will be successful. It seems like he will walk through the army. You probably can't build here, right? That was the issue. Because of this. I think if he gets our barracks here, like this wall here is very good. It seems kind of random, but it probably is saved in the game, for the moment at least. So that's actually a good wall, in hindsight. Some raid start here. Now he's finally starting to have max population. Once you have max population... Yeah, I'm also now a huge fan of AJIV's army. I think it's a great army, so yes. Cazadors, Dragoons, some horse artillery finally to deal with all the skirmishers. I mean, you can probably just also make Cazadors against skirmishers and deal decent in the long run. But Cazadors just tend to get wrecked by hussars. Now the cannons arrive for Dutch. The Dutch, and with this, they can probably defend. Is Dutch actually at 200 population? Yeah, it seems like he's only at 120 of population, and considering that he is so low on population, he's actually doing really good. AJIV doesn't have any units anywhere idle. Maybe he could add some Comanches. Maybe that would help him. Let's see. No, he doesn't have the resources for that moment. Yeah, maybe a frigate here would help a bit. That would just do a little bit of damage to everything here. And yeah, so just like feed's good, man. Oh hey Alex, how are you? Yeah, so we are, by the way, so we are casting the finals of the 2vs2 Deathmatch tournament in Age of Empires 3. I think it's the biggest Deathmatch tournament we had, so it's actually quite significant. We got 3rd place, so me and my partner, and they're duking it out for the 1st place. And so far it's a pretty close series, so the skill is pretty even. I think that AJIV and LongD are AJIV and Book are in a better position, and they should be able to carry it home, but it's not decided yet, I'd say. And they are also have trouble finishing here. I mean, LongD's population is actually rising at the moment, so maybe there's a comeback. Yeah, losing these Coverants here sucks. So Coverants are good against cannons. So I know that Coldner doesn't watch too much Age of Empires 3. So basically you have cannons which are good against infantry, and like most of the cannons, and then you have Coverants which are good against other cannons, and that usually means that you will try to get the Coverant advantage, and then after that your cannons can deal with the rest pretty well. So losing these Coverants here basically means that these horse artillery are uncontested, and he has to go back with his infantry, because otherwise he would just get wrecked. Yeah, that's why you see him playing this passive. Because otherwise this army would probably beat this army. On the other side we have some... So I think that Russia helped out LongD here for a moment, that's why he had to go back. But that means that the Spain, he used this opportunity to attack again and push in. So yeah, so, and I think I mean, these walls are just so annoying to deal with. So they are pretty decent walls. Did he lose a factory already? No. But it seems like he should be pushing through. Now Portuguese finally is also helping his teammate. Maybe that will be the nail in the coffin. I don't know, these walls. They're so cheap, and they achieve so much. It's actually annoying. I would have probably just killed these. I think if you focus this, then all these walls should just die immediately. Now we have also Dutch coming to the rescue of his teammate. Maybe it's... Doesn't seem like it's too late. Probably. So maybe he gets cleaned up here again. But that should mean that AJIV... So I don't know if AJIV knows this. I think he should have a grasp that the economy is here, so he should just move here and kill this economy for Dutch. And not go here, basically. See? Because this here is way better defended than this. I mean, nothing is defended, so there are no towers or anything anyway. But he's focusing on getting on in here. But I think it's better, or it would... It's easier to go in here. And now I think he realizes it. I hope he realizes it. Maybe he can read my mind, AJIV. Yeah. So... Oh no, these cannons pop out. And he gets 3 of them immediately, which is good. So that's a very... But he also loses his coverage again here. So... Yeah, I think he should focus all his attention here now. Maybe get his Comanches again. How many resources does he have? Yeah, now he finally has enough resources to just get the Comanches and get more resources here. Get some mortars, destroy this here. I think he realizes it now. He's getting some towers also. Which is also the right call. He could have gotten them earlier. But better late than never, I guess. And... yeah, I think they should be able to push through soon here. Okay, so it seems like it will be over soon. I hope it will be over soon because food is ready. So I will be doing a short break, and then I will probably continue. Maybe at 2 AM my time, so in 3 hours or something. Maybe I get all the games until then. So I can get the second game, which was a pretty long game. And yeah, then I can finally cast this also. Yeah, finally he's getting into this eco, and I think that really should be a nail in the coffin. Because Dutch eco really wasn't great to start with. And yeah, now he finally calls it. So that was a great game. I think killing the factories early might have actually been a real game changer. Because it feels like with a bit more economy of Dutch, he might have been able to hold on better. So killing the factories really might have been... Like, this really might have been the difference in these 12k resources. So... yeah. Book just tried it way better. I mean, I think it's expected against Russia, right? Probably. Yeah. So... check on. 9 minutes, okay. Yeah, it didn't seem like they were producing villagers consistently. Or they started a bit later to do that. Yeah, no, but great game overall. I'm doing a break now. I think it's 1-1 for now. So yeah, so it's 1-1 for now.